Welcome back to Boo You Gore, the podcast where we talk true crime, probably laugh in the worst possible moments, and somehow it works.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Annetta.
So buckle up, pay attention to the road, and listen in to today's episode.
That was one take.
It rhymed too.
Did it?
It accidentally rhymed. Bam.
We're good.
I'm a rap star.
Oh.
Chicka, chicka, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know, every time I see someone do that now, I just think of the fucking beatboxing vagina. Is it like Not Another Teen Movie or something? It's in one of those dumb,
Yes. Oh, that sounds so familiar.
scary movie. It's in something like that.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, they drop down and her
Vagina. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So we're like 35 seconds in and we're speaking about
vaginas. This isn't a health podcast.
Well, I mean, it kind of is health related today. You kind of do have a fitness related. Best segue ever. Since when was a beatboxing vagina a segue? That's great.
Right. So a while back, I listened to a podcast about a murder. It was known as the Lululemon Murder. Lululemon is, I wrote sportswear brand, but I think it's got more than just sportswear.
Yeah, I honestly, surprisingly, because I've owned every active wear brand in the frickin' world, never even really looked at Lululemon.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly why I've never looked at Lululemon, this case, so as we say, it was a sports brand, I'll just say that, which at the time I don't believe was in the Australian market at all and probably not very heard of. The reason I haven't shopped at Lululemon is because I don't know why, this case stuck with me. And anytime I heard someone mention Lululemon, it's all I referred it to and thought of immediately was this case.
I wonder, I know we touched on it briefly last week and I don't want to spoil anything, but I wonder how much this case affected their sales. Because like you said, that's the first thing that comes to your mind.
And I haven't shopped there. I don't know if it's subconsciously, if you'd say.
Yeah. I've never even considered looking at their stuff, and I look at activewear all day.
All the time. Like, it just hasn't crossed your mind. I wonder how it did affect
that like negative
image of it,
associated with the brand,
especially with how heavily this was referred to as the Lululemon murder. So I found it a little fitting to do an episode on this case, especially now that Lululemon is actually making an appearance in Australian shops across, I think, like all across Australia.
Yeah.
I wrote here, have you heard of this one before? But we've touched base that you have. I was initially going to write this kind of in the narrative from Brittany's perspective, and make it like we don't know that she was the one that did it.
Yeah.
But it came a little bit too hard, I think. And then I was like, I don't really want to be in her perspective.
Because you don't want to be in that mind frame.
Yeah. Lululemon Murder occurred on March 11th, 2011 at a Lululemon store located in Washington, D.C. suburb of Bethesda in Maryland, when Brittany Norwood, a store employee, murdered her co-worker, Jana Troxell Murray. The case received widespread media coverage and was commonly referred to as the Lululemon Murder. In January 2012, Norwood was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So she is away, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because the details of this case, I think, just blows my mind that it was over a pair of one stolen item from the store. That's what this whole thing stemmed from.
Yeah.
So let me take you back to March 2011. March 12th, a manager in the store where Murray worked arrived in the morning to find the door unlocked, merchandise strewn across the floor, and mannequins in disarray. She could hear someone moaning near the back of the store. So frightened, she asked a man outside to help her search the store. I think he was an employee from the next door, like Apple store.
Yep.
He didn't know her at all, and he still went in there to help her. Some random was like,
so
come
brave.
in this dark store with me. He found Jana Murray lying dead in a back hallway, face down in a pool of blood with something around her neck. Brittany Norwood was found in the bathroom, apparently semi-conscious, with zip ties binding her wrists and ankles and blood on her face. Bloody footprints were tracked through the store, and then the manager called 911.
Yep.
Sorry, at that point, the manager called 911. According to Brittany Norwood, it was supposed to be an ordinary night. She and Jana Murray closed the store, locked the doors, and walked out into the quiet Bethesda evening. But just minutes later, Brittany claimed she realised she'd forgotten something inside, her wallet. Jana, always helpful, agreed to go back with her. That's when, Brittany said, the nightmare began. Two masked men appeared out of nowhere, storming into the store as the women stepped inside. She described them as violent, faceless intruders who tied her up, beat her, and cut her skin just enough to leave her bleeding. She swore she was sexually assaulted and then forced to listen as Jane was brutally attacked just steps away.
Wow.
Bound, terrified, and helpless, Brittany told police she spent the night tied up on the cold floor, surrounded by the sounds of horror. By morning, she said the masked men had vanished, leaving her barely alive. Alive, but haunted by the echoes of Jane's final screams. But as convincing as Brittany's story may have sounded at first, the evidence told a far darker tale. There were no masked intruders, no forced entry, no strangers in the store that night. The wounds on her own body were shallow, staged, carefully designed to sell the lie. The bloody footprints, the zip ties, the sheer brutality of Jana's murder, especially compared to Brittany's cut.
Yeah.
It all pointed back to Brittany herself. The story she told was nothing more than a carefully crafted act. The nightmare she described wasn't at the hands of strangers, it was a nightmare she herself created. Wow, this sounds so professional.
Right? This, like, I'm trying not to say anything that's going to
give anything
away, but this is one of those ones that you just shake your head at.
Yeah, because you're just like, how intensely and how violent was this? Like I said, for one piece of clothing that she stole.
It makes no sense to go to this level.
Yeah, so you wanted to get away with stealing, but now you're in prison for murder.
Yeah, yeah.
So Jana Murray had been savagely attacked, sustaining at least 331 wounds from at least 5 different weapons, including a knife and a hammer, which may have come from a toolbox in the store. 331 wounds. We've said from previous podcasts that we've listened to where they say to do the movement. That is a lot. How are you not physically exhausted after that?
Yep.
331.
Cases where people have done things and, you know, there's been 13 wounds or 27 wounds and they're like, you know, I couldn't physically lift my hands anymore after.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting to 300 and something wounds?
Yeah.
Like the rage that must have been in there.
And not only one weapon, they said 5 different things from that store. So you've done multiple stabbings or hits with the hammer or whatever it was. Put it down, then looked for another weapon and gone back for more. So you did that 5 separate times.
Maybe because she worked for a fitness clothing brand. Maybe she was fitness minded and knew that if she tried to do the same movement multiple times, she'd get fatigued.
Yes.
She's like, well, that's too many movements on my bicep. I need to move to something that I'm going to be able to. What can I wound her with solely using my forearms?
It just sounds so violent. Like I said, for a piece of clothing.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Even if it was 2 men, like she said.
It was just way over the top.
That's insane for 2 people to do, let alone one.
It would have been a sight to find, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So Jana had injuries to her head, face, neck, back, and extremities. According to the medical examiner, Jana was alive when she incurred the majority of her injuries.
That's insane. That poor girl.
Mm-hmm.
A majority.
So
that's still possibly hundreds
even
of wounds.
2/3 of that is 200 and something. Wow.
So like, where are they calling a majority? 307? The amount of things to go through. Still
and be
alive.
Like that.
Poor girl.
And so a stab wound to the back of Jana's head ultimately caused her death.
Yeah.
So she would have been face down the whole time probably. And
clearly not a threat. In any way.
I think at the beginning I kept saying Murray and then I went through and tried to change a lot of it to have her first name. I feel like that's more respectful to her. And then I was like, well, fuck Brittany. And I just kept using Norwood. But then I think it's mixed, so I apologise. Norwood's injuries were relatively minor and appeared to be consistent with self-inflicted wounds. A forensic expert at the trial testified that the blood on her face from a cut on her forehead had dripped straight down, suggesting that she had been upright most of the night, not lying on the bathroom floor where she was found.
No.
The bloody footprints in the store came from 2 pairs of shoes, a pair of men's size 14 Reebok sneakers, which were found inside the store, and Norwood's own shoes. It was discovered that the tracks ended before either exit from the store, and additionally, investigators did not find evidence that either woman had been sexually assaulted, although Brittany had cut a hole in Jana's pants to make it appear that she had been. Yeah. So she went to a lot of great lengths to, I guess, cover her tracks.
Yeah.
During the investigation, it came to light that an employee and a manager at the Apple store next door had heard an altercation through the wall the previous evening. The surveillance footage from inside the Apple store shows them standing next to the shared wall, then walking away while a security guard sits nearby listening to music on an iPod. The employee testified at Norwood's trial that she heard women arguing, one saying, "Talk to me, don't do this, talk to me, what's going on?" Followed by screams, sounds of something or someone being hit or dragged, and a weak voice saying, "God help me, please help me." The manager testified that he thought the noise was just drama.
Wow.
Go fuck yourself.
Even if you think it's just drama, you poke your head in.
Just to see if they're right. Considering you heard someone being hit or dragged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And don't do this, just talk to me.
Yeah. That's why I was like, just drama. What the fuck, man?
Girls next door are being so dramatic. They're like going to murder each other about it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah. Police also found blood in Jana's car, which was identified at the trial as a mix of Norwood's blood and Jana's. When they asked Norwood whether she had moved the car, which was found at a farmer's market 3 blocks away, she admitted that she had. She claimed the men inside had ordered her to and told her that if she didn't come back in 10 minutes, they would kill her. She also said that she had seen a police officer. So I started laughing because what the fuck? She also said that she had seen a police officer while she was moving the vehicle but hadn't spoken to him. Honestly, that sounds like such a stupid thing because people would be like, if you're already away from there, you wouldn't go back. Right. You don't owe Jana anything. You would have yelled out to that police officer. They can't kill you then and there.
Exactly. And even if you did go back to try and save her, you would have made sure you had something in place.
Yeah, you could have talked to that cop.
And been like, they're expecting me back. I have to go back inside.
Yeah, but please know this is what's happening. Yeah. Oh, that's why I was like, what the fuck, dude? Norwood was arrested a week after the slaying and charged with first-degree murder. Statements by police officials and testimony during the trial indicated that on the evening of the murder, Jana and Brittany checked each other's bags for unpaid merchandise, a routine security procedure at Lululemon and other retail stores. Jana found a pair of pants in Brittany's bag and called their manager after she left the store. The manager said she would deal with it in the morning. You'd feel pretty bad being that manager, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's not your fault and you don't expect your employees to murder each other over merchandise.
Yeah.
I get that.
You would never have expected it to get to that level.
Yes.
You'd just be like, I'll deal with it.
Someone's either getting fired or, I'll deal with it in the morning. It's not worth my time at the moment.
Yeah.
A few minutes later, Brittany called Jana to say she'd forgotten something and asked Jana to return to the store and let her in. When Jana arrived, Brittany attacked her, moved her car, then staged the scene to look like a robbery. Norwood put on a pair of men's shoes to track blood across the floor, tossing mops, brooms, and chairs around the store, and finally cut herself, binding her own wrists and ankles with zip ties. On January 27th, 2012, Norwood was sentenced to life in prison for the brutal first-degree murder. She's now at the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women. Yeah, it's a short case, but, I mean, there's not a lot of context to it. Like I said, I've said it like 3 times already. It was over one piece of merchandise from the store. It's so wild to think that she snapped like that over that.
Yeah, that's like, it wasn't premeditated. It wasn't planned. It was, shit, I've been caught with these pants. They've gone their separate ways. Mm-hmm. And then she sat there and gone, how am I going to deal with this? I'm going to lose my job.
She's put a lot of forethought into it. Like, it's a lot that she's like thought out to get away with this.
And you would think Jana obviously didn't get too far away if she came back to the shop. Yeah. So it's not like she'd gotten home and then come back to the shop. Like, you would think that you would she's sitting there going, well, I need to get her back here. So how quickly has she come up with the idea that I'm going to bring her back here, I'm going to murder her, I'll move her car.
And then I'm going to plan this out quickly.
Yeah. And then I'm going to stab myself so that it looks legit. One person stabbed 300 and something times and the other one's got a couple of little wounds.
Like, how would you even think, oh yes, this is going to seem legitimate.
Right.
That these 2 men came in, completely butchered the other employee and then left me semi-scratched.
Yeah, right.
Little kitty scratch.
Like, if anything, you would think that she would be like, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to say to my boss in the morning? Like, that would be the mindset of like, I'm going to get so much shit in the morning when I talk to the manager. How am I going to, not, oh, well, I'm going to have to stab her about it. Like,
yeah. It's like I said, it blows my mind that that's where her mind went. I think I should have done more research on Brittany's background, maybe, because it's like, is that an upbringing thing, or is it the whole nurture versus nature that we always bring up? What was her upbringing like for her to be this? That's where her mind went.
And I think Lululemon, I don't know if it still is, but I know at the time it was a really high-end brand, because it was like,
it still is
$150 or something for a pair of leggings, which was insane back then. Now every place you look at is $100 for leggings. It's disgusting. So it's they wouldn't have just
Lorna
hired
Jane level.
Yeah. So they wouldn't have just hired anyone. Surely they would have done police clearances, like police checks and stuff like that. So, that sort of leads you to believe that she had no criminal record. Brittany wasn't a bad person prior to working here. So how do you go from being, just a normal everyday girl to, I'm just gonna... I know they were pretty young. I'm fairly sure they were like late teens, early 20s at best.
I mean, she looks really young.
Yeah.
Not Brittany. What the fuck? You know when you just see someone and you're like...
Yes. Oh, I know that feeling.
So people have called it the yoga store murder as well. So it was, I think at the time, Lululemon was quite heavy on the sports.
But
just more fitness, fitness wear.
I'm just jumping on the Lululemon. $130 for a pair of leggings, which is, I mean, I would never ever spend it, but that's kind of average now.
But look at that. So that's
a lot of blood. Well, I mean, after being stabbed that many times, surely you wouldn't have anything left in you, would you?
Oh my God, that's a lot of blood. Wow, that is pretty horrific. I never know how to end an episode. At least she's put away in jail and she's never going to get parole. She's never going to be let out, because that is such a horrific thing for such a small, I guess, not problem.
It's a dramatic response to something that...
No, it's not trivial. I'm not trying to... She's shoplifted. That's shit.
Yeah.
That is trivial compared to murder, and such a brutal murder of 331 wounds.
And to react that way and be like, murdering someone seemed like there was less penalty attached to it in her mind than what she would get for the pants.
Yeah.
Because that was the choice she made. Like, I'm not going to get fired for stealing pants, so I'm going to murder someone instead.
Yeah. I don't know if she was just that delusional that she thought her plan was that foolproof that she was going to get away with it. She would have sympathy. She wouldn't lose her job. She'd be the survivor.
And everyone would feel so sorry for her because she got stabbed and she was just trying to work her job. And she got a little scratch.
She put up a good fight.
So Brittany was 28 when she did the murder.
Wow.
Oh, Jaina was 30. They looked a lot younger than that.
So that's full-blown adults.
Yeah.
That's not even...
So how do you come... That's not even like, hey, my frontal lobe's not developed. That's a conscious choice of an adult.
That's wild.
Nuts.
What the fuck, Brittany?
Well, at least she's never going to have to pay for pants again.
Yeah. This is still a really crazy case, but I think compared to last week's, it's more on the lighter side.
Yeah, it's more of like what the fuck.
Because last week's episode, we definitely needed a breather after that.
Yeah. I had a few people reach out to and all say, wow, that one was definitely heavy. Yeah, it was good. It was a good one.
I never know how to finish them, though, because I was going to say, like I said, she's away in prison and she's going to be in prison for the rest of her life, so that's good.
Yep, that's a perfect outcome for something so ridiculous.
Yeah, yes. And poor Jaina, like that, like I said, 331 wounds is a lot. Is a fuck ton.
That's mental.
Yes, this one is a bit of a short one, but yeah, it's not too in-depth. There wasn't a lot of backstory on Brittany. So
we know she's in jail and that's all that matters.
Exactly, for something so heinous.
Yeah.
So I guess thank you for listening.
And if you have TikTok, I need as many people as possible to get on the page. I've got to try. I'm shit at posting on it. I know I say every week I'll get better. But we've had a little idea that could possibly involve us maybe doing something live for our 1 year, and we have to have 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok.
I don't know if I still don't know if I'm
35.
We'll see. But we're going to dress up because the Halloween episode we're going to do is our 1 year birthday for the podcast. So we're dressing up.
Yep.
Going to be a bit spooky, a little bit fun.
That's it. Have a fun time.
Halloween's on a Friday this year as well.
Nice.
Right. Yes, as Jade will say, hit the little bells.
Yep.
So you get notified when we post.
Because sometimes we don't get it done on time.
Maybe we're a day or so late.
Because sometimes our work schedules are stupid.
Yeah, it's hard to coincide and get together.
But if you're following, you'll be notified when we post an episode, so you'll never miss one.
Yay. All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.